I'm English Italian, and I have been a practitioner of breathwork for about 7 years or so, as in a facilitator. But my own personal practice goes a lot further back, from playing around with it as a child and not really understanding its power. And then as a very young parent, as a 18-year-old, I had to coach my wife on how to breathe in order to give birth. And then since then, repeatedly, I found myself doing breathwork practices. I did yoga, pranayama, I did something called Sufi breathing, which is a Middle Eastern practice. I did other birth types of breathing, rebirthing, holotropic breathwork. And over the years, I've combined my experience of all of these into one particular type of breath work called the alchemy of breath. The style of breath that I teach is based on the rebirthing tradition, which is a word that's not frequently used anymore. It's been broken up into several different titles by different people. But it's a slow, connected breath. So what that means is that the top of the inhale is seamlessly connected with the beginning of the exhale. And likewise, at the bottom of the exhale, the breath immediately connects to an inhale. So really the best way to explain it is to show it, which is just to watch me. And that's really how simple it is. Any extended period of time, it really begins to alter the oxygen levels in your body, and a lot of other things happen too. I'm also a clinical hypnotherapist, so I use speech during the process of a breathwork session. I'm also a practitioner of sound medicine, so I use different sounds to augment the experience. So a breathwork might look different for a business environment than it would for, say, a one-on-one psychological process for somebody, or for a creative artist, or for a festival environment, or indeed for a spiritual seeker. They would all be different types of breathwork that would be tailored to the event itself. The Muslim world has been practicing breathwork for millennia. And in fact, even in the West, there's been breathwork practice, but we disguise it. We call it chanting. And of course, what happens a lot when you chant is you need to regulate your breath. So the more that you chant, the more conscious you become of how you breathe, and it often would achieve the same effects. I've seen benefits, remarkable life-changing benefits occur in one session for many people. It's useful in every area of life. If you just assume for a moment that as we live in this dense form of physicality, and we're protected in our lives, we need to be protected to navigate through a world that's quite harsh and difficult. So we tend to lose our sensitivity, and as a result, we tend to lose our awareness or our access to awareness. Well, in both physiological terms and in spiritual terms, what happens when we inspire is we bring in spirit. That's where the word comes from. So if we do it with consciousness, we're actually informing our psyche and our intelligence with something that it's not used to receiving. 20% of the oxygen that we breathe, we require for brain function. And we breathe less than half the oxygen than we did before the Industrial Revolution. So we've managed to live with less and less of this type of stimulus in our lives. Imagine what might be able to happen were we to correct that. And you can actually find out by doing the practice yourself. It's very, very quick. So if you're in the creative industry, or if you want mindfulness, if you're dealing with employee relations in a corporation, as I said earlier, if you're seeking to deepen your spiritual practice or your meditation practice, this is one of the quickest possible ways to achieve something. But what I do say to breathers who are going to do the practice is, watch your left brain as we go into this experience, because your left brain wants control. It's what's guided us through safely in life. And so the threat of having to lose control for us is sometimes quite difficult. So what I would like you to do would be to engage in a breathwork experience with a sense of expectancy, but not expectation. This isn't about measurement. It's about wonder. So when we come to something with expectation, we're judging it before we even begin. Is it going to meet what I need or not? But if we come to it with a sense of expectancy, we're in a state of curiosity. That means we're open to what may want to happen and may want to visit us. So there's an important distinction between the two. I'm now on the last month of a tour around Europe, and I'm in Italy this coming weekend on the 7th of November, and then working my way back up to England via Ibiza and Zurich, where we're going to be doing a weekend workshop. And I'll be back in England, I believe it's on the 5th of December, for a session in London, and then Sunday the 6th, another session in Farnham. And then I'm going to be going off to the US to do some events there. To all of you that might be seeing this, please do come and join us if you can. I promise you an eventful experience, and I would love to meet you all. Thank you.